Welcome to PhD Myth Busting, where we debunk common myths people have about doing a PhD. For context, I am a fourth-year PhD candidate in biomedical engineering. Let's get straight into it. First, you need to be smart to do a PhD. This is absolutely wrong. It's not about being smart. Oftentimes, the people who are like the most intelligent who got the best grades in school are not the people who succeed the most during a PhD. And the reason for that is because a PhD rewards different things than the rest of the other types of education you've probably done. For example, in high school, undergrad, even in a master's program, you're typically rewarded for doing well on tests, submitting assignments on time, showing up to class, things like that, doing your assignments. But the PhD has a different structure to it. You're rewarded for different things. You're rewarded for not giving up. You're rewarded for asking the same question a ton of times until you finally come across something new. You're rewarded for this is a more creative pursuit than the typical other types of education where there's a correct answer, right? In other forms of education, you have a correct answer. In a PhD, there's not always a correct answer, and oftentimes you have to do experiments to figure out what the answer is. So really, it's not about being smart. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You might have heard that multiple times about the PhD. So it's really about not quitting and honestly being delusional enough to keep going. Two, you need to know what your research is going to be about before you start. As nice as it would be for you to have a solid plan about exactly what your research is going to be about before you start your PhD, I can tell you that pretty much every PhD student I know has changed their plan drastically from like first year to their qualifying exam to what their defense actually looks like, because research is an ever-changing field, right? The results of one experiment will influence the next experiments that you're going to do. And also your interests might change, the field might change, the necessity of a certain research question may change with time. So your job as a PhD student isn't necessarily to have the perfect plan. It's the ability to adapt and keep moving forward even if the goalposts change.